Let's try and make sense of these developments in Pakistan. Is Imran Khan a puppet on Pakistan Army's strings, or is he now Pakistan Army's Frankenstein's monster, created by the Pakistan Army and now out to decimate the Pakistan Army? Is Imran Khan threatening the Pakistan Army with bloodshed? Joining me on India First are two of the most authoritative voices who keep a hawk eye on all developments in Pakistan. Let me bring into this conversation Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain, former Kashmir Corps Commander, and Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow at the Observer Research Foundation. And Sushant Sareen, revolution through ballot or bloodshed? Is Imran Khan now directly threatening the Pakistan Army?
Gaurav, clearly he is, and Pakistan has reached a point of inflection. In almost 30 years of watching Pakistan very closely, I have never seen a situation like this where a civilian leader is challenging the Pakistan Army, the might of the Pakistan Army and the Pakistani state, and you see both the Pakistani state and the Pakistan Army cower before him. They are fearful of what might happen if they were to take any precipitate action against him. They are scared of the fallout. They are afraid of what Imran will do if he manages to bring a sizable crowd to Islamabad, how they will control it. They seem to have run out of ideas. And Imran Khan is really pushing the envelope to the maximum extent possible. He is daring them to take action. He always leaves some leeway for himself and for the army, but he keeps pushing the things to the edge.
That's a very big statement. That's a very big statement you're making here, that Imran Khan has the Pakistan Army scared. They're cowering, whether it's DG ISI General Nadeem Anjum or General Qamar Javed Bajwa, General Hasnain. You saw that unprecedented press conference of Lieutenant General Nadeem Anjum, DG ISI, and Lieutenant General Iftikhar Babar, DG ISPR. Is the Pakistan Army, or both Pakistan Army and the ISI, are they on the defensive, General?
See, Gaurav, firstly, Pakistan is a state where predicting anything is almost impossible. You will always find the unpredictable which will happen, so let's be prepared for it. Second thing, this is not the first time it's happening. I'd also like to remind ourselves, way back in 1968, 3 years after 1965, the government of Ayub Khan was also brought down by civil society. It was brought down by an agitation at that particular time, and the Pakistan Army also that time ran afraid of civil society itself. So we've had proceedings in the past. Today's politics are very, very factious. There's no doubt about it. Pakistan runs on different narratives at different levels. Which narrative we take and which narrative we expand and try and rationalize will give you different deductions. To my mind, yes, at the moment, the Pakistan Army is not running scared, but it is under pressure. They chose to back the wrong horse at that particular time. They created Imran Khan, they created a Frankenstein, and now are concerned about how exactly are they going to manage him. For my side, I would say, I don't think Imran Khan is going to push the envelope right onto Islamabad and do what he is threatening. He knows that the Pakistan Army is also capable of doing what they wish to do. Take him apart, probably put him under arrest, put him away, etc. But that will hurt the public sentiment against the Pakistan Army. And the Pakistan Army is also playing a sentiment game with the public of Pakistan. Okay. So there are all kinds of narratives which are running at the moment. It seems that the big brother, that's the United States of America, continues to play umpire on all the matches which are being played in Pakistan.
No, but are these fixed matches? And, last time when any Prime Minister tried to take on the Pakistan Army, the Prime Minister was hanged. There have been 2 instances, one hanged, one assassinated, and from the same family. Sushant Sareen, is Imran Khan seen as Pakistan's army's puppet on strings, or is he now becoming a Frankenstein's monster, or has he become a Frankenstein's monster?
You forget another Prime Minister who was jailed and then disqualified, which is Nawaz Sharif.
Yes.
But my own sense is that Imran Khan is Pakistan Army's worst nightmare come true. He is their Frankenstein's monster, but he has done something which the Pakistan army never imagined will happen to it. You know, you spoke about in your report earlier, Gaurav, you mentioned the journalist Arshad Sharif.
Yes.
It's not important whether the Pakistan army or the ISI was behind his killing. Probably they were, maybe they were not. That's not even important anymore. The perceptually, it is that 95% of the people probably in Pakistan believe that the Pakistan army was behind the killing. So it does not matter what the truth is or is not anymore, right? And you know, that has also precipitated matters for the Pakistan army, that they are having to come out and defend themselves. The problem for them is that if they allow Imran Khan to get away with it, you know, why the situation is very different from what happened in 68. And it's good that General Hasnain is reminding us about 68. But where the situation differs is that the Pakistan army remained the most favorite nation of the United States at that point of time, number one. It isn't anymore. Secondly, and more importantly, the Pakistani state was not as dysfunctional as it is today. So I think when you start adding up the complete economic collapse, near
Yes.
virtual meltdown of the economy, you add the fact that there is terrorism which is on the rise, you add the fact that there are large swaths of areas which have been completely devastated by the floods, and on top of that you have this kind of political uncertainty by a man who is drawing the biggest crowds possible, even in a place like Punjab, which
Yes.
is the heartland of the Pakistan army. And Gaurav, one more thing I'll tell you. What scares the hell out of the Pakistan army is that the crowds are not the Baloch or the Sindhis
No,
or the
Punjabis.
Pashtuns who can be killed wantonly.
Yeah.
These are Punjabis, and these are well-heeled Punjabis. These are
Yeah.
guys whose family members are in the army, in the civil services, in the judiciary, in the professions. These are very well-to-do Punjabis. Can you afford to shoot at them? Can you afford to fire at them? Can you afford to take strong arm action against them? And what happens if you do? And all this is happening amidst very credible reports that there are deep divisions within the Pakistan army,
Yes.
just as there are within the Pakistan society.
In fact,
So
I'll
a
come to
sense,
these divisions in the
is
Pakistan
the
army in
midst
just a
of perfect
moment.
storm.
Are some within the Pakistan army actually spurring Imran Khan? But I'll come to that aspect in just a moment. But since you raised this point about this long march to Islamabad from Lahore, General Hasnain, Islamabad, we are told at this point of time, has over 1,100 of those massive containers and barbed wires and blockades set all over, and not just in the red zone, but across Islamabad. Sir, in your appreciation, will Imran Khan be permitted to enter Islamabad, the red zone, or will that be a defeat for the Pakistan army? And that would actually mean that Pakistan's Punjab province, and not just Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and others, the Punjab province is also now turning against PMLN and perhaps even the army.
Firstly, Gaurav, I endorse every word which Sushant has said. I'm glad he reminds me of 68, the different situation in 68, and particularly he reminds me of the economic situation and the general chaos which is existent in the environment of Pakistan today. There is no doubt about it that there is a deep division within the Pakistan army. And the DGISI probably came up primarily because of that fears which are existing within the establishment at the moment. As to your main question about setting up all these containers all around Islamabad, obviously the Pakistan army is running scared, is taking its precautions. But I continue to insist that I don't think Imran will push the envelope to that extent, because he knows that there are certain things which are playing for him. Violence at the end of the day, I mean, if he thinks this is all going to be gained by revolution and things of that sort, I think he's mistaken.
Okay.
It is not going to lead to that. The Pakistan army at the end of the day, remember, selected him as Prime Minister. We never stopped calling him the selected Prime Minister. At the end of the day, the Pakistan army can still do it. But the problem is that there is a deep division within the Pakistan army. And that is something that all these elements in the establishment today are trying to work against and take control of.
Okay, I'll come to these divisions in the Pakistan army because they're extremely interesting. But Sushant Sareen, since 1947, Pakistan army has firmly been in control of the country. They may have lost every war to India, but they defeated every political dispensation in Pakistan. But is that story changing? Is Imran Khan on the verge of defeating ISI and Pakistan army, or at least has he put them on the defensive?
He's clearly put them on the defensive, but Gaurav, this is precisely why I said that Pakistan is at a point of inflection. Now, whether this point of inflection is going to be permanent and the army will be made subservient to civilian, even though that civilian is more of a dictator and a raw, unbridled fascist, Imran Khan, or rather an Islamopascist.
Islamist, yeah.
But that aside, the fact of the matter remains that, the army has been pushed the way it has never been pushed earlier. Just on the lighter side, Gaurav, the containers, the Pakistanis can afford to put all those containers because they have nothing to export anyways, right? So, they're probably making better use of the containers by blocking the roads than they would, because normally these are used for trade and export and import. But, something which General Hasnain said, I think I must come in out there. When he says that, will he actually push things over the edge? Maybe not, but then you have to look at it from the flip side, what are his options? If he doesn't push things to the edge and doesn't, indulge in that game of chicken and hopes that the Pakistan army blinks and backs off, capitulates, his career is more or less over for the foreseeable future, right? On the other hand, if he pushes things over the edge, then the choice before the army is either they capitulate or they carry out a coup, because the civilian government is simply not in a situation to carry this thing forward. So it is reaching a point where I think everything is on a knife's edge right now. And which way it rolls, I agree. Somebody very wise in Pakistan said the only thing you can say with certainty in Pakistan is the past. Even that is controversial.
Yes.
And you can't say with any degree of certainty what will happen in the future. And perhaps we are in that situation, but it's not looking good, for Pakistan or for political stability in Pakistan.
Okay.
And chances are that if there is a military coup, and I don't rule it out, I think it is a very real possibility now. If there is some military intervention, then it will not be of the sorts it has been in the past, that there is a strong man who then sits, on the throne for the next 10 years or so. I imagine that this time it will be a kind of a junta system where there will be different generals calling the shots, and that will be even worse than what previous dictatorships have been, because this will be something which will be pulling at, at this various edges.
Okay.
And that is something which I don't think Pakistan really needs at this point in time.
But this war within the Pakistan army, General Hasnain, is that what is happening? Some corps commanders versus General Bajwa. The corps commanders are using Imran Khan to ensure that General Bajwa doesn't wrangle another extension for himself.
Gaurav, that is quite obvious and is happening. There's no doubt. You can actually take a trigger from the statements which start from President Joe Biden when he, out of the blue, suddenly talks about Pakistan being one of the most dangerous places in the world.
Yes.
These are subtle hints. The revisit of the United States intelligence organizations back to focus on Pakistan all of a sudden in the last 6 to 8 weeks. Obviously, a lot is happening. And the United States is the last country which will want to see fractious politics of this kind in Pakistan at this particular juncture, when they are looking to, move towards the Indo-Pacific, trying to contain the Ukrainian setup. They don't want all this happening in the Afghanistan, Trans-Caucasus sector around Pakistan and areas like that. So obviously the indications have all been there that there is a deep division within. And that division has led to such an unprecedented press conference in which the DGISI himself has to come in.
Yes.
What the Americans definitely would want is a kind of a united Pakistan army, even if it has to be for 6 months to a year to come to power. This is the period in which they probably are looking at the Ukrainian war stabilizing itself also.
Okay.
So this is the time when the US particularly, I think, is encouraging it. I would not rule out a 6-month extension for General Bajwa.
Very interesting.
Although
You should mention that, a 6-month extension.
It leads to all kinds. For the Americans, it would give a tremendous advantage. A known devil, a known person sitting there who's used to it 6 years into politics.
A known devil is better than an unknown devil as far as the US
Absolutely.
is concerned. But is that what General Faiz Hamid, who was aspiring to return courtesy, Imran Khan. And there are many questions. What does this mean for China? What does this mean for the United States? What does this mean for India? In the coming days, we will discuss this. I've run out of time on this part of the show. But Sushant Sareen and Jan Hasnain for joining me here on this India Today special. Many thanks.